Hey everyone, welcome back to Product X. I'm Rena, your host. Today we're decoding a startup that just exploded onto the healthcare AI scene with a massive $25 million seed round. And honestly, the story behind it is absolutely wild. Life, that's the company, is building what they're calling cancer digital twins for over 40 million high-risk individuals and cancer survivors in the US. Instead of those once-a-year checkups where you're just praying, nothing grew since last time, they're creating real-time, cloud-based disease trajectory predictions. The round was led by heavy hitters Red Mile Group, V-Squared Ventures, and Kindred Capital. Vivian, let me start with you. The founding team here is being called the dream team of the medical world. Can you break down why investors were willing to write a $25 million check before they even launched?
Hey Rena, hey Nolan, good to be here. Yeah, the investor excitement makes total sense when you look at who's behind this. Ryan Richardson, the CEO, was Chief Strategy Officer at BioNTech and Chairman at InstaDeep. That's the European AI powerhouse BioNTech, acquired for nearly $700 million. His COO, Zack Taylor, was a Senior Vice President at BioNTech. These aren't first-time founders figuring things out. They've already run big stuff. But here's the real hook for me. They're not selling another one-off screening test. The market for that is brutal. High price point, but zero repeat purchases. What they're doing is flipping that model into a SaaS-like subscription. 40 million people in the US. Alone are cancer survivors or high genetic risk individuals. And suddenly, instead of billing them once every 2 years, you can bill them continuously. That's the LTV play that's got everyone buzzing.
Yeah, I love that angle. And from a technical standpoint, what they're building is genuinely different from the standard liquid biopsy companies. Most of those are still doing static snapshots. You give a blood sample, they look for signals, done. Life is trying to maintain a continuously updating model for each patient. They're using the Nucleotide transformer. That's the foundation model BioNTech and InstaDeep built to read genetic data at single nucleotide resolution. So instead of just checking for known mutations, they're capturing the full contextual signal across 3 billion base pairs. Then they layer in clinical data from Tempus and dynamic biomarker shifts over time. That's not just a better test. It's a fundamentally different architecture.
Okay, so the tech sounds impressive. But Vivian, here's where I get skeptical. Lots of healthcare AI companies have beautiful models, and then they hit a wall. What's different about Life's business setup that prevents them from becoming another great tech? Terrible business story?
Oh, that's the million-dollar question. And honestly, it's why I think this one might actually work. Most health AI startups build a cool prediction engine, hand it to doctors, and say, good luck. That's a dead end. Life went further. They built their own virtual care network. So when their digital twin flags a BRCA-positive breast cancer survivor with elevated risk, it's not just sending an alert to some overwhelmed physician inbox. Their own licensed clinical team steps in through their virtual clinic, orders the follow-up diagnostics, handles the intervention. They BWANted the whole thing, prediction plus fulfillment. That creates a real moat. Good luck trying to replicate that by just stitching together APIs.
Exactly. And from the engineering side, the biggest challenge they face now is balancing sensitivity against false positives. Their model is going to get hypersensitive as more data flows in. But if you're triggering alerts every other week and patients are getting unnecessary biopsies, nobody wins. The ethics collapse and the commercial model collapses. How they tune that threshold using Tempus's massive clinical outcomes data, that's the make or break technical question for the next 2 years.
Let's shift gears slightly. Nolan, I want to dig into the nucleotide transformer itself. You're saying this is a fundamentally different approach to genomic analysis than what's been done before.
Absolutely. Traditional genomic analysis is like searching for a specific sentence in a library of books by looking for exact word matches. The nucleotide transformer is more like understanding the entire context of those books. It reads genetic sequences the way a large language model reads text, capturing semantic relationships between different parts of the genome. That matters because cancer mutations aren't always obvious single-letter changes. Sometimes it's about how combinations of genetic variations interact. The transformer can pick up on those patterns that older statistical models just couldn't see. Combined with real-time biomarker updates, you're essentially building a living digital replica that evolves with the patient.
Got it. Vivian, one more on the competitive landscape. Red Mile, V-Squared, Kindred, These aren't small checks. What do you think they're seeing that maybe the broader market isn't?
Honestly, I think they're seeing the Data Moat. The Tempus Alliance gives them access to Ambry Genetics testing capabilities and years of de-identified oncology data. That's not something you can just go build overnight. And the Nucleotide Transformer license, that's exclusive commercial usage. You can't just replicate that. Plus, they're not trying to compete with every other screening company on the same turf. They've carved out this high-value, high-frequency segment of 40 million people who actually need continuous monitoring. That's a defensible position, not just another blood test in a crowded market.
All right, let's do a quick lightning round. Quick fire answers. Keep it tight. First question, most overhyped health tech trend right now.
Telemedicine for everything. Not everything needs a virtual visit, and we're seeing some sanity return to that market.
Consumer wearables claiming to detect disease. The data quality just isn't there for clinical decision-making.
Most underrated.
Interoperability standards. Nobody gets excited about them, but they unlock everything.
Agree with that. Also, regulatory pathways for AI diagnostics. People sleep on how much the FDA has actually been moving.
If you could force one change in US healthcare right now, what would it be?
Payment models that reward prevention instead of intervention. We still pay people to fix problems, not to catch them early.
Data liquidity. The fact that a patient's records are still scattered across a dozen incompatible systems is insane in 2025.
Best piece of advice for a health tech founder right now.
Don't build in a vacuum. Get clinicians involved from day one, not as advisors, but as co-builders.
And figure out your reimbursement path before you figure out your technology. Great science doesn't matter if nobody pays for it.
Last one. Will we see digital twins replace annual checkups within 10 years?
For high-risk populations, absolutely. The rest of the market will take longer, but the writing is on the wall.
I'll say yes for monitoring, no for full checkups. They'll coexist.
Love it. All right, let's wrap up. Vivian, give us one sentence. What's the one thing you want listeners to remember about BIOS Life today?
They're not selling a test. They're building a continuous health subscription for 40 million people who desperately need it, and they've got the team and the data moat to actually pull it off.
Nolan?
The tech is real. Single nucleotide resolution foundation models combined with dynamic biomarker tracking is genuinely next generation. Whether they execute the false positive problem will define their future.
Thanks to both of you. This is exactly why we do this show. Taking a $25 million seed round and actually digging into what it means, beyond the headlines. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time on Product X.